beautiful beings of light. Welcome to the Crone Zone Conversations with the Ancients. My name's Priscilla, and my friend Heather's here. And today we're welcoming the lovely Diana Boles.
Yay.
Yay, astrologer extraordinaire.
More than astrologer.
So many other things.
Yeah.
Psychic medium, Akashic Records reader, yoga teacher. I mean, I think the list could go on.
You sound like my daughter.
Yeah. A little bit, huh?
Jack of all trades, master of none.
I feel the same way. I can do a lot of things, but nothing particularly fabulous.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that we know of. We'll find that out when we're looking at from the other side.
From the other side. Yeah.
Looking back to see if you were looking back to see if you were looking back at me.
Amen.
Yeah, it's like my younger brother said, he didn't know who I was until he died. And I wasn't thinking fast enough. I wanted to say, who am I? You know.
Really?
Can you fill me in?
Tell me. I don't know.
You know, I experienced that several times over the years where people would go, does she know who she is? And I'd go, no, who the hell else?
Yeah, tell us.
Tell me.
I wasn't thinking fast enough. He had so much he wanted to say. It was just a little bit over a week after he died. So he had so many things to say.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So.
Wow. Okay. Let me see. Diana, you're at oilpntr, isn't that right? Your YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
AOL.
Your details are in the description for anybody that needs to know. I'm just trying to do.
Well, the best way to get a hold of me is just through email. So that's AOL.com, oilpntr.
Okay, that's in the description, so perfect. Yeah. Tonight, hey Akila, guess what? Akila's coming on the Crone Zone.
Yay!
Excited!
Yay!
I just watched your show a little while ago, Akila, with Sun Psychic Jean. That was really that was a good show. I'm glad I got a chance to watch it, and I'm excited to have you come on. I don't remember the date. I think it was early November. The first weekend in November, I believe. I'm not sure. Refresh my memory, please, Akila. It's on the calendar, I promise. I just don't have it in front of me.
And if it's not in front of me, I don't remember. I've got to have it. I have to check the calendar every day.
I do too. Absolutely have to. So tonight we're actually going to talk about the magnetic storms and stuff that we're getting today and tomorrow. And actually, for the foreseeable future, we're getting hit by 4 CMEs. 4. And they started hitting today, I believe.
And that's not the end of it, because the hits
keep coming. So also, thank you, Akila. November 2nd is when she's going to be on that Saturday. So keep a date. If you haven't met Akila, you're in for a treat.
Yeah,
she's lovely, and she's talented, and she's got a beautiful heart. Yeah, the three of us know her pretty well. She just has never been
on.
We haven't let her out of the gate yet, because that's.
Oh no, she's been on Jean's channel twice now, so she's out of the gate now. That's fantastic. So we were watching. I'm going to turn it over to you in a minute, Diana, because you're the astrologer. You know the sky and what's going on. We all three were watching Stephen Burns' latest video, and Stefan, as he calls himself, Stefan. And it really is a great video. If you get a chance, I posted it on my website, not on my website, on my Facebook page. And I think I posted it somewhere else, but I can't remember where. I thought I posted it on YouTube, but I don't think I ever got around to it. But please go watch it. I think it was yesterday's video.
Well, the one that I sent you came out this morning.
Okay, so it was this morning's video. I couldn't tell when I watched it.
But let me add to that right now. He did put one out yesterday that was, and he put one out every time that there's something dramatic happening. But he put one out when the 7.5 went off right after the Tonga earthquake.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then he put one out the next day that explains the ions, protons, magnetic storm, and what is going on with all of that. And there is some technicality to it that I can't go into, but when I hear him talk, I understand it completely. So if you need a refresher course in how electricity works, that's the place to go.
Yeah.
So that was
one for today. Isn't that ridiculous?
right. I think he put that video out on Thursday, but it doesn't matter, because if you tap into anything that he posted this week, it's going to bring you to the present moment for sure.
Right. Okay. Well, he's not, I can't find it on mine because it's every 2 weeks ago, a month ago, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, have a look.
Please like, share, and subscribe, Stefan, as well as the Crone Zone.
As well as the Crone Zone and Oil Painter. Exactly. Please go subscribe to all of our channels. We'd really appreciate it. So these coronal mass ejections happened to 7.1 on October 1st, the X class 7.1. And then on the 3rd, it was a 9.0.
And then shortly after that, Easter Island had 2 earthquakes.
Oh, that's right.
That was Easter Island is where the eclipse went over.
That's true. Yeah, that's where the only place you could see the full eclipse was right there.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, so what he said today, the heightened geomagnetic activity on Earth is going to reach a G3 or G4 magnetic storm. And the high is 5. It's only a scale of 1 to 5. So a 3 or 4 is really going to affect us greatly.
Exactly. And don't be surprised if it doesn't feel like a 5, or he ends up coming back and saying, boom, shakalaka, it's a 5.
He loves to say boom shakalaka.
kind of like hurricanes. The higher the number, the more it is.
Yeah. And these 2 are merging.
Yeah, that's what he said. These 2 will probably merge because the first one is actually quite slow, slower than expected, and the second one is probably going to catch up with it. Yeah.
Yes.
So
and it's not a cannibal, because these have their own. They're just going to meld. They already have space because they've come off of the sun and they're in the wave that's coming to hit the Earth. So even though one is moving slower, it's not a cannibal CME. That's different. That's when one goes off and the next one comes right behind it and gobbles it up. Then you get everything all at once. So go ahead.
So we have actually, I don't know where the other 2 came from. I think they were from the M class flares before the X ones, because he says we've got 4 that are hitting us, and they're hitting us today. And there's good rain. It's going to continue to hit us, and even after October. Let's see, after October 9th, even. It's going to continue.
And if you watch it, you can actually see all 4 coming and how they're coming.
Right. When you watch the Stephen Burns channel.
So it makes a lot more sense when you watch it.
Right.
It shows you.
Sure. And there's things that
he's
so well, he's brilliant.
Really,
I really like his approach, because it's not high pressure. I mean, I feel like I'm talking to one of my kids.
I know, right?
And he's not that old 1950s, 60s disc jockey attitude.
No, he's so He's very spiritual. Which changes everything.
Very spiritual. And the other thing is he's of the age that is next to inherit our Earth.
Yes.
And this is why I really appreciate where he comes from, because I know what my take is on it, and it's refreshing to hear somebody who has respect for what was.
Diana, put your hand down. You're making your camera go. Woo, woo.
Oh, well,
Talk under the camera with your hands.
I don't know if I can do that.
I know, right? I couldn't either.
It's okay. I grip a hold of mine in front of me to keep me from talking.
Yeah, right. Let me try this. Here's the church. Here's the steeple. Open the doors and see all the people.
And see it still going back and forth. Oh my God.
Well, anyways, I love that he incorporates what we, his parents, would have taught him, and the fact that he went on in pursuit of a geophysicist education, and that he has taken into account all the spiritual value
and the astrology.
And astrology, but of faith, period.
Mhm,
Because it's not religion, it's faith. He talks about everything from the I Ching, which he hasn't,
all different spiritual backgrounds. Yeah.
well, and he hasn't done an I Ching reading for quite some time, and so hopefully he'll be listening. And because he's not busy climbing a mountain or whatever.
Well, but we can send him a message through the comments.
Yes, and he answers, and it's like I was one of 300 followers, and overnight there were 3,000.
Wow.
Like, what the heck?
Hey, Diane, that's crazy. So he also says that this is your bailiwick, the astrology between the 9th and the 12th of October.
Yes.
With Jupiter stationing retrograde, Mercury and Jupiter in a trine, Pluto goes direct, and then we have this comet Tushin Sham and Atlas coming through. So I'm going to let you explain those things.
Okay. So this trine that we have between Mercury in Libra, okay, and Jupiter in Gemini. Now, let's find balance in this broad conversation. Let's find balance in all of this new information that's coming through. Right. How do you take this in? One of the things that I would certainly believe, because it's Libra, you need to pay attention to the omens, the signs, the messages, but more importantly, how your body is reacting to this.
Right.
Because Libra is steady as she goes.
Right.
She knows how to go with the flow. She knows how to get on, that board when you're learning how to ski and you're doing this. She knows how to do all that stuff. She knows how to keep the teeter-totter she can get off of it without letting it slam the little 4-year-old to the ground, right? Mm-hmm. And so all of that is something that you need to consider when you start feeling like crap, when you can't move, when you can't wake up, when you can't go to sleep, when you have a headache, when your third eye gets mushy.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's put up these little attention symptoms.
Yes, right here.
Yeah.
The nausea. Oh my God, the nausea for me day after day after day. Yesterday, I was paralyzed. I could not move, literally. But I did. I got up and did it anyway. But it was like dragging 2 1,000-pound weights, which were my legs, and it's just, it's like, if you are thinking of moving but can't, your muscles don't really know the difference. So just in the attempt itself, even if you're sitting on a sofa meditating about it, your body feels it's doing it. Right. So with all of this, I still have muscle tone that by now I figured, I'm going to have them flabby thighs I had when I was 18 years old, But no, it's like I'm still out walking 3 miles a day, even though I can barely get it. a quarter of a mile in some days. So you need to pay attention to these things. You need to rest. You need to make sure you make room for meditation so that you can take the practical application of muscle memory and apply that remembered movement.
Right.
Yeah.
And be able to really sense the travel and dreams, crazy dreams, right?
Yes, definitely crazy dreams.
But I do have to say that I don't think that all of these symptoms are necessarily negative, because
Right.
like in my case, I was walking the dog this morning and could not believe how easy it was for me to walk,
Well,
which is not normal for me.
right.
I was able to walk more easily, and taking the steps was much more easy than usual. And yet I am dead tired. I
Well,
am not getting sleep. It doesn't, but I think some of these are just going opposite of what you're used to.
well, and see,
Yeah.
when it, even Stefan says, when it first goes off, he gets this great big surge of energy.
Maybe
And
that's
then when it, he's still young, so doesn't affect him.
Yeah,
quite
he's a
the
baby.
same.
He's probably in his 30s.
I'm thinking 34.
Yeah,
If he's
somewhere
even that,
around
right?
there.
So the thing is as paralyzed as I was yesterday, movement came just like melting butter today. I
Isn't
have
that
had no
interesting?
problem till the sun started to come through my my western exposure. That afternoon sun.
Huh.
And as that radiation, because it penetrates glass, unless you have the protective shield on your glass,
Mhm.
it comes through the glass and affects me. Now,
Right.
why does it affect me? Well, first of all, I already know I've been diagnosed with systemic lupus. When I was a child, I had seizures and nobody knew why. They said I was an epileptic, and then they'd go to test me for epilepsy, and there was no epilepsy. What was causing it was the sun's radiation. But back in the 50s, they thought that if it was that lupus was only an old person's disease, and if you didn't die from it, then they misdiagnosed it. What they've since figured out in the 1980s, when blood tests became a thing in finding disease and how to use it to your advantage, they discovered that, oh, no, it acts like a virus. It turns itself on, it turns itself off. You can trigger it by stress, alcohol, all of the things that you shouldn't do can make it turn itself back on. But when you're following the regimen and avoiding the sun, because the sun triggers it in 9 out of 10 people, it's controllable.
My
And I had a
grandmother had
health,
it. Lupus
right?
erythematosus.
Yes.
She had it and lived to be in her 90s, but
Yep.
ultimately that's what got her.
Yep. And
But
yes.
she had got it as a young girl and had injections of gold.
Yeah.
I don't know what that did, but she never had anything that I saw until she got older.
And I need to agree with you that it comes and it goes, because my movement is the same way. At certain times of the day, it's like I feel as old as Methuselah, and the other times of the day, I can move just
I
fine.
know, right?
Yeah.
I had a really
Well,
weird thing
this is-
happen to me today. I went to put on my socks, put my left leg up on my right knee to put on my socks for Pilates, and my knee went out. And I stood up and I was like, holy shit,
the
I
hell
can't
just
walk.
happened?
And I'm in the Pilates studio ready to go. The sweet girl there comes over, grabs my keys, is going to run out to the car to get my cane, because I have a cane, a wheelchair, and what's the thing you push?
Walker.
A walker for my granddaughter in the car. So she was going to go out and get the cane. Well, by the time she got back in, I had stood up and taken a couple of steps so I could go to the door and, leave when she got back. My leg was fine. Absolutely fine. It moved right back in. She's in the middle of the street, and I'm like, come back, I'm okay. I went ahead and did the class. I was very careful on what things I did and didn't do. And as soon as I got home, I taped my knee, but it was like, I've had no problem like that before. And then today, boom.
Yeah,
Well, that's what happened to me in a standing split. I threw my hip out of place and didn't know it, and walked on it for 2 years before I finally went, something is effing wrong here. And finally got to a chiropractor.
Isn't it crazy?
I'm not stubborn or anything.
Mm-mm.
don't want to spend the money.
So it is putting 2 and 2 together for yourself. And here we are in the sign of Libra, sun-wise. The moon was in Libra a couple days ago, and we had that great big Mercury Kizami, the sun, with the moon and Juno and Vulcan and Estrella, and who else was there? Oh my God, a whole list, a whole fistful. Juno, Vulcan, Mercury, the moon, Estrella, Black Moon, Lilith, the sun, and the South Node were all kissing each other. They were having a party.
They were having a party.
And we're all, as soon as that party was over, we were already laying down on the couch.
Isn't that right? You're right.
Boom, chakalaka, as Stefan would say.
Yeah.
That 7.1 went off. So it's learning that, yes, you are really being impacted. And one of the beautiful things about my chiropractor, after I told him this whole long dissertation, including a Saturn return on 4 surgeries, that is where I am at right now on these 4 surgeries from 28 years ago. And so I explained that to him. I explained dropping my motorcycle, not even moving, just dropping it over like the old man on Laughing, and how I got my foot caught up in the engine, and I did this yoga move so I didn't bang my head on the fire hydrant at the end of my driveway, blah, blah, blah. And then explained to him about the standing split. And he said, well, and that how the solar flares, every time one of them go off, I can't move. He said, well, first of all, your environment is why we don't feel good, let alone injury or what you're eating. Well, I don't eat hardly nothing, because right now all I want is avocados and tofu. I don't even want potato chips.
Not so much.
Right? But avocados have all the amino acids. There's 7 of them? 7 of them or 9 of them? 7?
I don't remember.
Anyway, so I crave the amino acids, which are probably really good for what is going on with these CMEs. And tofu is the protein that a body needs. Mm-hmm. And I'm a vegan, and those are the only 2 things that I really want to eat right now. And this has been going on since probably May.
Oh, get some fruit in there.
Well, I do, I eat other things, but that's what I'm craving.
Right.
That's what I crave.
Yummy.
So, and so what does it do to you? And how do you feel? And start following somebody, even if it doesn't have to be Stefan. It's just, I find he's very easy to listen.
Easy to understand.
Yeah, exactly. Because he explains it. He doesn't just say, well, we got this going on and we got that going on.
And he shows pictures, and I love pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
Pictures and graphs. Exactly. It makes it so much easier.
Exactly.
And he doesn't just show pictures, he explains them. Thankfully.
Exactly. in human language, not just scientific language.
Yeah, definitely in human language. Thank you, Stefan Burns.
Right? Boom, chakalaka. and the fact that he helps you understand that you're not crazy, you are feeling this.
Absolutely.
Now, some of the things that I've observed, because I've got SLE. I've been working with systemic lupus erythematosus all my life, but have been aware of it since 1989.
Right.
88 actually, but I have been wearing sunblock, and all of a sudden my sunblock don't work, and I've been wearing it since 1989. And well, what's the problem? How come it's not working? I mean, a 70 isn't working. I'm getting sunburned. I'm getting, and I can't be in the sun. This is like my childhood all over
I
again.
would die if I couldn't get out in the sun.
Well,
I live for the sun.
all the
think
gardening I
so
do, I have to do when the sun is going down or before it comes up. And
That's
I
crazy.
ain't doing it now, I'm telling you, because it's getting too chilly.
My little
Or I
sister's
step
allergic.
outside and my night allergies kick up.
My little sister's allergic to the sun, and she gets these blisters in impetigo.
Well, and when I was a child, I would have canker sores all over my tongue.
Wow.
Because I'm allergic to the sun. And that's the best way to describe this.
Yeah. Do you wear a big hat?
Yeah, I wear hats.
I kind of wonder if all of us, to a certain extent, are allergic to it. I get sun poisoning easily. I mean, I rode a horse show in English garb, which means you had a hat and sleeves and jacket and long pants and boots. I ended up with sun poisoning. I forgot to put lipstick on my lips.
Well, there you
Wow.
go. And it's true because
but you lived in Key West with no problem.
No, but I wasn't outside nearly as much as you. And I stayed in the shade a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Can I just say hi to Laurie Huntsinger and Amanda?
Sure.
I want to just say hi. And Sacred Key Coach, thanks for being here today.
And Bora Bora.
Diane G, thanks you guys.
Well, Diane G, that's exactly what I do. Avocado and tofu. On gluten-free toast, because gluten exacerbates systemic lupus. It exacerbates all rheumatoid diseases. So what I've noticed is I can't be, when the sun is coming through a window, can't be in front of it, just like back when I discovered what the problem was and what to do to avoid being in the sun. That was one of them. Long sleeves, even in 90-degree weather. No, I'll stay in the house. Thank you.
Hey.
But what I have noticed since then, like yesterday, I said, you know, I was having a really hard time moving yesterday. And I had to go to the grocery store. So I got myself in the car and went. The minute I got into this confined, controlled environment
with walls
with
6 inches
cinder block
thick.
walls, right?
Yeah.
Cinder block walls, probably a foot deep.
Yeah,
I'm in
12 inches
Kroger.
deep.
And you know, they already pull the shades down over those windows because the sun coming in those windows, it affects the people standing in line, trying to pay at the checkout. And it affects the employees that are working the cash register. So the minute I got into the store and took a couple of deep breaths of that air without radiation in it, I felt better. And I was able to go through the whole store without limping, without any pain. Paid for my groceries, pushed the cart outside, boom, chakalaka.
Wow.
So glad I got close to the door.
Yeah. Amanda Carroll's asking if you could tolerate one of those sun lamps. Why would she need a sun lamp? I'm not quite sure why you would want a sun lamp. I used a sun lamp when I lived in England the first year I lived there because I couldn't handle the dark days. I would go to the sunbed. I don't even know if they still have those places, but
yeah, they do.
Have sunbeds.
My daughter used to have sun lamps because, and she would have to sit in there. For one, there are some nutrients that come from it, but in the darkness for her, it deeply affected her emotional state. Without the lamp, she was so depressed. It was just all the time.
That's why I had to go to the sunbed. I just couldn't handle the darkness.
You had to have the whatever energy, and they're keyed to whatever that frequency or whatever for the sun is.
So here's another thing. All my life, I've preferred the dark.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't love sunshine, but I prefer the dark. My body was telling me something right from the beginning of my life. You don't necessarily develop lupus.
Right.
You're born with it. You've got the genes, you've got whatever they call it when they take the blood test and they say, oh yeah, you got the markers or whatever that is.
Mhm.
When the fact that I've always preferred little cave cubbyhole places.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That's what your body was telling you.
Right.
And if I drive, I'm more awake at night. I prefer driving at night because I see more clearly. You know, it's just
Isn't that
The
strange?
exact opposite.
I would go like to 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning, then go to bed and wake up around 7 or 8 and then keep going. And that's my pattern now too. I stay up and up and up and I'm going, I gotta go to bed, you know.
You know, when your body is telling you you don't like something to eat, don't eat it. Remember, kids can't.
Hey, Leah,
Kids who hate peas. There's kids who hate peas. Remember that?
Mhm.
Well, peas are legumes.
My
but
grandson used to hide them in his mouth, in his cheek.
he didn't want to swallow them. You know what? His body was telling him.
You're allergic.
Well, exactly, because this legume mimics gluten. And
Right.
gluten is, I mean, it's like potatoes. There's days I feel, oh, I got to have a potato. And then I go to eat it and it's like, because it's another thing that imitates gluten. And gluten activates and stimulates autoimmune stuff. So any of the nightshades, even tomatoes, though I don't seem to have a problem with them as much. I don't know why. But I'll go through a stint where I'll eat a bunch and then I don't care if I eat another tomato till next summer. You know?
Sound like me.
Yeah.
I can't eat much of the nightshade vegetables. They affect me terribly. Restless leg.
Yeah. Oh,
And I
that's
do better
another-
with yellow tomatoes than red.
right? Restless leg. That's another thing. I personally, it's like, okay, you're tired. Drink some water and go to bed.
Yeah.
And usually before I drink the water and they go away. That
No.
desire to kick.
No way.
You wish.
I wish a drink of water would do that.
Well,
I've had it all
but
my
then I
life.
go to
We
sleep,
call it
too.
the heebie-jeebies. My mother had it. My daughter has it. We called it the heebie-jeebies because there wasn't a name for it when I was growing up. Like so many things, diseases that I currently have.
Yeah.
Nobody was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos or POTS, any of these
Yeah.
that I have that are all
Or
related.
Sjogren's or any of that stuff,
Yeah.
right? Leah, cassava flour kicks butt. It sure does. I love cassava. And that Mexican company her kids were all allergic to everything. And she just turned it all gluten-free. She's got gluten-free, no corn chips that are awesome. And she makes them
Corn's
with cassava
gluten-free
flour.
anyway. Why would you need gluten-free?
Because you can't find corn that isn't genetically altered.
Right.
There isn't. The only control group is someplace in Canada, and Monsanto sued them for trying to keep it isolated from pollination.
For the Monsanto, the devil.
GM. Oh yeah, I mean that happened a few years ago. What the outcome of that is, I don't remember. I don't know who won.
I don't remember either.
But I think Monsanto already had made a dent. How can you keep a crop that's across the street from cross-pollinating? The bees don't know that there's a street between the two.
True.
You know?
Absurd.
So
yeah.
And yes, magnesium is another good thing to.
I take magnesium every day, twice a day.
Mm-hmm. Now, magnesium is something that my body must already have. So this is another symptom, because it doesn't matter what kind of magnesium I take. When I've reached that point that I shouldn't have any, I can't wake up and I itch everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Everywhere, because I've got enough. My body probably produces enough, gets
Mhm.
enough in other ways.
Sure, sure. Interesting. Laurie, her granddaughter has those conditions. My daughter and granddaughters both have that EDS and POTS and
There you
all
go.
the other shit that goes with it.
Yeah.
That's how I learned I had it. All the symptoms I've had all my life that I thought was just me, normal
Right.
stuff. And my kids are like, but mom, da 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 da. Oh, right. Okay.
Right.
I learned a lot.
Yeah, you dealt with it.
Yeah. I dealt with it my entire life. But I swear the kids have it worse, much worse than I do.
Right.
Although that knee popping out, that was the knee I had a replacement on. So I'm not quite sure what the hell popped this afternoon, but it seems to be okay, although it's sore.
It's done that once before too. When we were in Key West, you had it do pop on you.
When I bent my knee like that across my leg, I don't remember it ever
I
happening.
don't remember, but I know that you heard it pop and you couldn't believe it because it was the one that replaced.
Interesting.
And it hurt.
Did you forget?
Yeah.
Well, and here's some good news, because Pluto stations direct on October 11th,
Yeah.
never to go into Capricorn again in our lifetimes. Heading forward.
Pays to be a crone.
Right? Yeah.
Forward
Right?
into Aquarius.
Yeah, because body
Yay.
parts are replaceable, and who knows how long you're going to live. It might be 250 years once they figured it all out. But when
God, I
he
hope
stations
not.
direct, he won't make it into Aquarius for quite some time. November 13th, is that right? Something like that.
Right.
And just a second. No, because the possum is out there.
Okay, because they're waking up. They gotta go pee.
No, they don't. They just want to go see the possum outside.
Okay.
Just hold on, dogs. I got to check everything.
Mine was here, but she's gone.
Yeah.
Mine's below my knees, underneath my legs.
Well,
So
I heard the possum jump up on the bird table. So,
You know he's there.
they brought in a baby one in the middle of the night and brought it to the bedroom, and I'm going, "Are you crazy?
Oh my.
it's a baby.
I gotta get you out of here."
Leah says Saturn rules knees. So
Yes.
what's Saturn doing right this minute? Why is my knee screwed up?
Saturn was on the 4th. Saturn in Pisces was trine Venus. And so we're out. And she's in Taurus, a body, an earth sign, right? And he's not doing anything dramatic. I don't have him in my cheat sheet till he'll be trining Mercury on October 22nd. But
my birthday's the 24th.
Oh my gosh, your birthday's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
My
there's
birthday is a week before Halloween, so it's like such a party time.
well,
I love Halloween. It obviously is my favorite holiday.
right.
I love the fall.
Halloween is a hobby.
It can be. It's not right now because I'm renting, and I don't know how the people upstairs would feel if I put a bunch of Halloween stuff out.
Well,
Oh,
I'll show
I have
you after.
one little skeleton dog underneath the fir tree out front in my little garden area.
Yeah.
Thank you, Diane. Yeah, my dog wants to go out too now.
Oh yeah. Well, they're probably answering Gloria, who's sitting here. No, you'll be fine.
Do you know anything about that comet that's coming through?
I don't know much, quite honestly, because I've just had a lot on my mind and plate, and
That's okay. I'm sure you and Valerie will talk about it at some
Yeah,
point.
we will.
The moons and the eclipse Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't had much time.
Yeah, and then the flares knocking me out for 2 days. I mean,
Mhm.
so when you go to the chiropractor and you get an adjustment, there's an adjustment period from the adjustment.
True.
And so that always knocks me down for a day and a half, sometimes longer. And in the thick of all of that, that was Wednesday, and all of those flares went off.
Yeah.
And
no
so
kidding.
it was just like, oh, good grief. But this
Speaking
morning,
of Halloween, this is my Beetlejuice cup that I got
I
at the
can't
Halloween
wait till
store.
the movie.
I can't wait to see the movie. My granddaughter's already seen it. I haven't seen it yet, but I can't
Oh, the
wait.
new one.
But
Mm.
my coffee is in the Beetlejuice.
I love me some Beetlejuice. That's one of my Starseeds. I actually have 2 strains that come through Beetlejuice.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just love that movie. That scene where they're all sitting around the dinner table singing
doing the Calypso stuff.
the Calypso song. Oh my God.
Yeah.
If I always wanted to do a video of all my favorite movie clips, and that would be number 1. And number 2 is damn, I can't remember her name. I'll Have What She's Having.
Oh,
Remember that?
Yeah.
Billy Crystal and what's that cute little
when
blonde?
Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally.
That's
I'll
the
have what
movie,
she's
yeah.
having. That scene too. Those are 2 of my favorite scenes. Anyway, so much for Beetlejuice.
Right? And Mercury is going into Scorpio on the 13th as Pluto stations direct. So now you're going to have Mercury going fast enough to eventually catch up to Venus.
Interesting.
And because he moves fast. I mean, she moves fast too, but he's gonna get up there closer to her. Let me see if I have it in here. No, I don't. I didn't have it put down. Hold on. You'll just hold on.
All right. At least mine's not barking.
Let me, I'll be right back.
Barking at the barking.
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna block my picture
Okay.
so I can hear you, lady.
Yeah. Mine's
Let me go make sure that the possum's not out there, and then I can let them out.
Tequila, when's your birthday, honey? What day? I see that's my birthday. Is that good? But I'm not sure what day you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because she said so many dates, I'm not sure. The 13th is Mercury into Scorpio. Is that right? Is that your birthday, the 13th?
Okay.
I can't believe my daughter got married the day before Halloween.
The 13th. Interesting.
Cool. Major changes that day.
Yeah. And even yeah. Stefan said October's going to be crazy in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me get back to Diana. And oh, she's unmuted. Okay. Laurie Hunsinger's birthday is October 30th. Akila's asking if the 13th, that's her birthday. Is that good?
Well, yeah, Pluto stations direct, and Mercury goes into Scorpio.
There you go.
Baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. What else we got going on? Oh, Jupiter is trining the sun on the 13th as well. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he'll be retrograde, that trine is still good.
Who's
This is
besides the sun. Who else is he trining with?
I need to make a chart, and I don't have.
That's okay. I was just curious since it was a trine.
Hold on, let me see. I mean, I could probably tell you if I could think fast enough, but let me just look at today.
Happy birthday, Laurie Hunsinger, and happy birthday, Akila. Happy birthday to anybody that's a Scorpio or born in October.
Right.
Right.
Happy birthday to everybody. I've decided I'm going to spend my birthday at a spa. I'm going to have a facial and a massage.
Good.
Oh, and Jennifer, my daughter, just passed her state boards, her counseling boards.
Hey,
Oh,
congratulations.
You know, they
to
take
her.
the test and know the results that day. I had to wait like a month for my nursing exam results. I love technology. But yeah, so I'm taking her to celebrate. We're going to both go have massages and facials and whatever else we can come up with to feel yummy.
Pitties.
Mm-hmm.
Pitties.
So he's sextiling. Oh, he's sextiling the south node. I'm sorry, the north node in
North-
Aries.
Okay.
And so trining the south node is in Libra. So he'll still be in that.
Thanks,
He
Akila.
just went through the trine with that south node. And
Right.
and so he'll still be in it to a respect, because his retrograde at that point will be at 21 degrees. So he'll be in a trine to the sun, but they're all still in the same house,
Right.
you know, and the sun will be at 21 degrees. So it's going to be a direct point. And then we have Juno at 22 degrees, Black Moon Lilith at 24 degrees, and Mercury just stepping in at 0 degrees of Scorpio, which is going to be strength in conversation, strength in what you say, and depending on where it shows up in your chart. In the world chart that I'm looking at, it's in the 6th house, including Mercury. So that again is the Virgo, the perfection, the Jack Smith. Check, balance, check, balance.
Yeah. Lots of information.
Right.
No kidding.
What else is there I can see here? Well, then he's also in that sextile to Chiron. That's actually who the sextile is with. Chiron's at 21 degrees of Aries. And so this is about what's that wound that you've been carrying since childhood from past lives. How are we going to fix that, right?
Right.
How does it affect your chart? Where's your Chiron? But in the sky, that sextile is a support. And is there anything at 30 degrees? Sort of, because Uranus is at 25 degrees retrograde. I'm sorry, well, 26 and a half, headed towards 25 degrees. And Uranus is going to be retro for a while. So, like, that's what I like to refer to as a bookend. We got a half of a sextile, 30 degrees. And if you take a book off the shelf and they go a little cattywampus, my first instinct is to squish them up, make them stand right, and take stock of everything. There goes the possum. Hey, no.
We lost her again.
All right.
So, yeah.
Hi, Garnet. How are you doing today? Yes. Happy good birthday to all of the Libras out there.
And Libras and Scorpios, because it's just a matter of time for both.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on. Everybody wants to see how cute you are. There's Grizzly.
Hi, Grizzly.
And Gloria's too big for both of them to be on my lap.
Exactly. Okay. And what else we've got out there?
Okay, what else do we have out there?
Well, I was going to say we talked about those 4 that are coming down, and we know they're coming. But did we say exactly when they're supposed to be hitting?
They're supposed to be hitting. They started hitting today, and they will continue to hit for the next 3 or 4 days.
You said through the 10th, 11th.
Okay.
Well, who knows what's going to go on?
He was talking about all the astrology that was going on, but
right.
He said that was post the geomagnetic storm. But remember that geomagnetic storm is going to last several days, and it can be. They're expecting a 3 to 4 in magnitude, and it only goes from 0 to 5. So it's going to be a little bit touchy for all of us. And I highly recommend go watch Stefan's
Yeah.
video on it because he explains it much better than I could.
Yeah, and
Well,
he
me
did
too.
say it could actually reach the 5. It's
And he was right the last time he said it's a possibility. And he was right. It happened. So to me, squirrel.
He gets a lot of information from Noah too. So he's got all kinds of
well, and
Why
more
is it geophysicist?
yeah, he's
to do as far as like what should we see in the news? What kinds of things should be happening that because of these?
Yeah, because of these transits, what kind of things can we expect out in
Okay, so with this past eclipse that we just had, both the seasons, what was going on in your life in 2009? Because this is the closure to that.
Okay, I have
So-
to look it up. I don't remember.
Well, then it must have been uneventful, and we'll just leave it at that.
It could have been really eventful. I don't know.
2009 is when I took my first healing training. That's when I graduated. Well, took the
That's
class from the reconnection.
And 2009 was when my first husband died.
And 2009 was when my divorce was final.
Your husband couldn't have died in 2009.
I was 29.
You weren't 29 in 2009.
Oh, okay, you're right. That's way before then. I wasn't thinking right. But I don't remember what would be 2009. I'll have to look back.
I became a type 1 diabetic,
Mhm.
and I did my training in energy healing. That's
And your health is on a better target now, right?
mhm.
So you've closed that chapter.
Yeah, my health is much better. I'll never get over the type 1 diabetes, but
No, but you know how to
It's under
handle it.
control.
I know how to keep it under control.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I'm healthy. I mean, I started working out about 2.5, almost 3 years ago, and lost a ton of weight and got fit. And yeah, so that
What year did I come to see you guys?
2012.
2012. Okay. So then I would say I actually started working on this stuff in 2009
Yeah.
with somebody else. Yeah.
well, in 2012 is when I graduated or got my certificate to be a yogini, a yoga teacher, instructor. So
I
that
started yoga training. I started taking yoga in 2009 too.
Yeah.
well, and
Or
you know, I went back to it in a more formal setting because I had always been going to the club, but
Oh, I just
they didn't
started.
they didn't offer yoga, and then all of a sudden they did. And so once the divorce was over with and I knew everything that was going to happen in my life, I certainly kept going right back to the club. And then, you know, took
I love
training.
yoga. It
Yeah.
really helped me. It got rid of my sciatica.
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah,
like
that's the
within
hardest
weeks.
thing with all of this is till I'm almost back to the yoga mat. I'm not yet, but I will be. And it's like I'm not accepting this because I was fine. And then the next minute I wasn't. And
Yeah, I'm not so sure when I'm going to go back to yoga because this knee doing that today when I do all kinds of things to strengthen the ligaments, muscles around my knees. It's like, how did that even freaking happen?
but you don't have to do hot yoga and you don't have
Oh,
to do Ashtanga. Just stick with the gentle flow of
I have a gentle flow that I do, which is basically
vinyasa
mhm.
or hatha, which is even less.
Sun salutation.
My daughter likes hatha.
Right. Hatha is the mildest you can
Yeah,
do next to Mudra Nidra, right? Which is take a nap.
Oh yeah, let me go to Yoga Nidra. Absolutely.
I'm with Leah. I do Tai Chi.
I love Tai Chi too.
Tai Chi.
I haven't done it in a while, but I really like it.
It's possible, right? That is slow movement.
Because I have hypermobility, I have to really be careful with yoga. Well,
And-
with
And I had to stop Tai Chi because of my back and my neck. I
Yeah.
couldn't stand long enough to be able to do anything.
See,
Yeah,
we're called
darn
the
it.
phone zone for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, these things happen and you just have to work through them. With age, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on in my life. But you know what? I
keep
like
going.
my life better now than I've ever liked it before. And
Just
I'm
surf everything.
just dealing with it.
Right. Surf.
So, you know, on that list that you had about ascension,
You guys take a picture of this if you didn't get a chance early, and so that you have it to go back to.
screenshot.
Screenshot this, please.
And really believe in the appetite changes.
Yes.
Because
The DNA changes.
yeah.
And the nausea. The nausea is the big one for me.
Yeah.
Now I can't tell you anything about ear ringing because I'm deaf. I wouldn't hear it if it was happening. You know.
I have the ear ringing and I have it anyway. I have tinnitus anyway, but it's it changes with the electromagnetic storms and stuff like that. Well, with any kind of
And
Well,
I can attest to the cold and flu-like symptoms.
I have
And
always been able to hear the electricity in the wall. Now, how crazy is that?
that's cool.
When these storms go
really-
off, it is so loud that I can get in a car and I can hear it in the wires outside.
Oh my God.
Now, it's there and it does make a hum because there is a frequency that goes with the heat that electricity creates, right?
Yep.
But there are other types of ringing that you need to pay attention to because that's part of the ascension.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
about 5-6 years ago, I started getting sacristy bells ringing. Now, if you've ever been to Catholic Mass,
Mhm.
that is the changing of the host and the bread and the wine.
Yeah.
And just, you know, sometimes when to kneel if you're at a high Mass and all that business. Well, they'll start ringing. And as the information is getting closer and closer, they start ringing really fast. And right now, last week, this happened. And I know that this is a signal that someone is going to die. Someone that I know is going to cross over. And it happened loudly and crazily. And then suddenly it stopped. And my neighbor across the street called me the next day and said his wife had died unexpectedly.
Kind of like,
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Well, it started up again.
Uh-oh.
And I am wondering now who, because it had a couple of rings and a couple jingles for the past 2 days. But this one, it hasn't stopped since we started this show. And it had made a pattern earlier, but now it's at this, no, it's not stopping. So someone is going to pass. And I'm wondering if it's King Charles.
I'm wondering too. There's some weird
Because-
stuff coming out of England.
Right. And there was a drop down that said something about them preparing his funeral arrangements.
Yeah.
And I didn't go looking for it.
I didn't click either. I didn't click on it, but I thought that was interesting.
but
Maybe Carter, Hypnicity says maybe it's
Oh,
President Carter. That's
Yes.
certainly a possibility.
Yes.
Listen, we're at an hour, ladies. Hey,
my
Gypsy
God.
JJ.
hey,
No, I don't think it's one of us.
And hypnicity?
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
and I was going to
And
say,
Leah.
there was somebody else when we were talking in a different show. I don't remember which one it was, about how our hearing is, well, my hearing loss and somebody else's. And I had made the statement that I really think my hearing is keyed to a different level than human hearing, you know, what everybody else has, which is why I've always had trouble with hearing. And somebody else was saying, yes, they felt that same way about their hearing. So I'm thinking sometimes when we think we're deaf, we're not. We're just don't hear like everybody else.
That's what I think about ADHD and all the other things.
That's right. They work on a different level.
Okay, hang on a minute. I want to go back to something real quick. Garnet says that Harry's over in England right now.
Yes.
And why? Is it because his father's ill? I mean, super ill? Is that why Harry is finally, are they going to reconcile? Are they going to meet? And is he going to meet with the rest of them? I hope so. I hope he gets reconciled before his dad goes.
Okay, Seashell, she hears the ringing also. Well,
I have a feeling that this feeling also, someone in my father-in-law is going to pass also, but it can't explain why. The ringing I also heard. Interesting. Okay, ladies, we're at an hour. Diana, is there anything that we really need to know about the current skies and all these?
Well, especially because of we've got Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Neptune's going to get to that 29 degrees and go back again. And so that's a powerful degree. Pluto is getting ready to stand at 0 degrees of Aquarius. That's a powerful degree. He's going forward, but he's only at 29 and 36 minutes when he stops to go forward again. So these are powerful degrees. It's like king of the castle, right? I'm king of the castle and you're a dirty rascal.
I haven't heard that one.
But it's pay attention to the signals that you are receiving, because not only is everything else physical that we're getting from these geomagnetic storms, we are also getting this ascension, this sickness that we are feeling is because there are new omens, new messages, new upgrades that you're getting in your skill level, no matter where you are. Some of those who have 0 are opening up to, well, what's that about? Or just taking an interest in something.
Yeah.
And try to understand your blueprint. Because if you understand your blueprint, you'll begin to understand what those transits are doing in interaction to you and your friends.
So if you haven't had your birth chart done, I highly recommend Diana for having your birth chart done, because it really does. It helps explain what's going on in your life and helps you figure out how to deal with it.
Right.
Issues that come up. But for right now, self-care is super important.
Very.
Releasing is super important. Taking care of yourself with all these ascension symptoms that we're all experiencing and going to continue experiencing for God knows how long, because we're right in the middle of solar 25, the solar cycle 25, and this is the height of it. And so,
and I keep getting in my head, take a breath, take a deep breath.
Willie Nelson, just breathe.
Just breathe. Diane G says we are being activated and stepping up into our roles. Absolutely.
Yeah. Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Lovely.
And
Diana, what do you have up next?
Let's see. Monday, I'll be doing with Angela Cartomancy Mesquite. I'll be reading Nancy Jean's Crystal Garden. We use that tool created by her.
Oh, I love that.
And sometimes we use pendulums. Just depends on if it needs a different kind of a tool for an answer. I use my coppers a lot, and tarot and oracle cards, of course. And then Tuesday, the Akashic reads at 5 o'clock Eastern, and Tuesday evening, the dreams, apparitions, and visions with Allie Heart and Soul and Terry and Callie Healer. And then I don't think there's nothing for Wednesday, but I believe Thursday the 10th, I'm on with Gerald.
Fun. I love Gerald.
At 2 o'clock.
I love Gerald. Hi, Lisa Bowles. I'm sorry you came in at the ending. Is this a relation of yours, Diana?
I know. No, I don't think so. That doesn't mean
It's still
she's
one of
not.
my
Well,
favorite
Boles
places in the universe. I love San
Mhm.
Francisco.
right? Boles is German for tree trunk, the
Cool.
size of a tree trunk. And she could be related because that's my maiden name. I mean, my married name, not my
Right.
maiden name. So
Right.
it's a
Okay.
possibility.
Let me tell you, on Monday, we have the Wisdom Circle again.
Mhm.
And Terry Lee's going to be our guest hostess, I guess you could say. And she's going to talk about the spiritual and healing power of laughter. And
Oh,
we all know how laughter is so good for us. So that
right.
that should be interesting. And then on Tuesday, our monthly remote view by Heather is going to be on the Sphinx. And she's going to dive into that left paw and tell us what all is down there that they haven't found yet. So
Oh,
And
that,
they
hot
won't because
diggity.
it's all blocked off. It's all caved in. They don't want that to be found yet. But they allowed me to go past that to see two of the three rooms. They said I wasn't ready for the third one yet, but it was very interesting.
very exciting. I'm fascinated by anything to do with Egypt. So I'm really excited about that. And then we have Sun Psyche Jean on Friday. Our shows are on Tuesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. But this week we're doing once a month with Jean. We're either on her channel or she's on ours. And that's, I believe, at 4:30 Eastern. On Friday, and then Saturday, Valerie will be here to talk to us about the full moon.
And then
So-
Valerie and I will be together also.
And then you guys will be on the following Tuesday, I guess. Don't
Yeah.
you? Or is it no? Because that's the same day. That's the
di-
day of the
yeah.
full moon. Yeah, so you'll be on that night as well.
Yeah.
So double the chance of information. So be ready to do your rituals for the full moon on that Saturday.
And I'll learn more about the comet by then.
Oh yeah, that'll be so interesting.
because we have that second moon out there, which is really just a rock in the sky.
Do you know anything about that rock in the sky? I don't know anything about it.
No, it's a piece of asteroid. It happens every couple 25, 60 years, something like that. It shows up. So it's
Fun.
just something in the field of debris.
Right.
Sure.
Interesting.
And you can't see it unless you have
we
a
may
telescope.
see the northern lights here in Colorado this tonight.
I'm hoping that we have clear skies and I can get out there myself tonight and see.
Yeah, I'll have to check and see. But until next time, everybody, thank you so much for being here. We're sending you lots of love and healing light for anyone that needs it.
Right.
Please go out and get in touch with Mother Nature and shake up all your problems and send them down to Mother Nature. Ground yourself into Mother Nature. She'll take that and send you back lots of love and abundance.
And she'll take all the nasty stuff you want to get rid of.
And she'll transmute it.
Yes.
Thank
And
God.
blow cinnamon in the front door.
Definitely.
For the moon.
Exactly.
All right.
Oh, that was the one other thing. So pay attention to the quarter moons as well, because that was another thing that Stefan had brought attention to, and I forgot. And squirrel. We didn't talk about
That's all right. We'll talk about it next time.
next time.
Diana, thank you so much for being here. Everybody, thank
loved
you
it.
for being here. We love you and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Take care.
We'll see you next time.
Na, na, na.